We are back again for another edition of Cape Ann Today with Ethan Forman from the Gloucester Times. Hi, Ethan. How are things?
It's everything's really great in the seaport.
Yeah, well, the seaport is full because we are heading into Schooner Fest, the 38th annual Schooner Fest. So give us all the skinny on what we should know.
Well, my observation is living in Swampscott, having covered a little bit of Salem and living in Marblehead. Gloucester is really a place that you really feel the maritime history. I know Salem talks about their maritime history, but Gloucester is a place you really get out on the water. I've been out on the water more in Gloucester than I've ever been in any other reporting job
Oh, that's
with the
cool.
cops and kids. And then I was on the schooner Adventure for their Descendants sale.
Oh,
So they're part
beautiful.
of Maritime Gloucester.
Yeah, yeah,
This is a nonprofit, and they're having a Schooner Fest,
exactly. And I
Schooner
think
Festival.
I think in Gail McCarthy's story in the Gloucester Times, she quotes Daisy Nell as saying she wants people to think of Gloucester as the schooner city and to associate schooners with Gloucester. So, and it does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe not a few decades ago, there were no schooners in Gloucester left. And now look what you can see, on the waterfront, how wonderful it is. These schooners were, a lot of them were fishing schooners, right?
They sure were.
I
Yeah.
learned that on the schooner Adventure.
Yeah.
They'd go out with the dories and they'd fish. It was a very dangerous occupation. And
Yeah.
the people that did that, boy. So yeah, so Schooner Festival, it actually kicks off today. Or actually, no. I'm going to say to you that it kicks off on Thursday, September 1st.
Right. Exactly.
I'm going to the preview tonight, so I'm a little bit behind, but preview tonight. We're going to see the Schooner Challenge 5:30 to 7:30 at Gloucester Harbor. Schooners are going to be arriving throughout the day, Friday, today.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a Gloucester block party too on Main Street. So hey, come on down, party. Saturday this is going to be the Maritime Heritage Day, and on Harbor Loop with live demonstrations, schooner sales, and all that good stuff. So,
well, let's not forget that Cape Ann Today will be live at the Schooner Adventure dock right there behind Maritime Gloucester tomorrow, Friday morning. And wait a minute, this is airing on Friday. So
we're going to do a little time shift here.
Exactly. We got to do that. So probably we will be live while this is being broadcast on the dock.
That's fantastic. So I'm going to be tuning into you because, let's do some more of these highlights. There's a schooner viewing on Saturday, September 3rd. You can do that at Maritime Gloucester and Harbor Loop. There's schooner floats at the I-4C2 and on Roger Street, and at the Ocean Alliance. There's also on Rocky Neck. They're getting into the action as well, the schooner action as well. And let's not neglect the boat parade of lights, 7 to 9:30 on Saturday. I'd love to get a time lapse. So we should set up a time lapse of the boats going by. So Annisquam and Inner Harbor open to all who wish to decorate their boats and enter. So you get a boat, you light it up. Begins in the Annisquam River and ends in the Smith Cove.
And then on Sunday?
Well, we got fireworks, right?
Oh, right. Yeah. I forgot. It's Labor Day weekend. Of course, there are fireworks. Yeah.
And then if you really want to see all this, go to our website, www.gloucestertimes.com. Great story by Gail McCarthy. Outlines all this, and it was also in Wednesday's paper as well. If you have that as well. Sunday is the parade of sail from 10 to noon. Now, Heather, are you doing anything for the parade of sail?
Yes, I am hoping to be sitting in the late great Helen Garland's yard watching the parade of sail. Yeah.
Well, where's that yard? Because I'll come by because I'll be covering the parade of sail.
Oh.
In a weird way, I'll be on dry land.
Okay, well, I will be on dry land too, so I'll let you know. We'll talk after this, okay?
Because I'm very excited about this. I wish I could get out on the boat, but I have to write a story. If I was on a schooner, it'd be all day, and then I'd have no time to write it.
Right.
We have an early deadline on Sunday for our paper.
Okay, well, we will connect.
We will connect Gloucester Harbor, Stacy Boulevard, Stageford Park, Eastern Point. It's great viewing areas. And the schooners are going to proceed past the Inner Harbor, past the Fisherman's Memorial, and this is going to be a race that's starting off Eastern Point. And there's a live stream for this at Good Morning Gloucester That's also in our story.
Mhm.
And 11 to 1:30, there's a free shuttle bus to Eastern Point, Corsicana, and the Eastern Point Gate from the Eastern Point Gate at East Point Boulevard to watch the start of the mayor's race. Now, tonight, Thursday night, we'll be attending the press briefing with the mayor in the Maritime. So I'm excited about that. So that's going to be a story for later this week.
We
And
have to get
very
our
excited
time
about
straight.
this. I'm going to say it's a story for Friday,
Yeah, okay.
Friday's paper.
All right.
And it'll be and online whenever it runs.
Right.
But there's a rain date. If there's a rain date, we've had such a perfect summer, a little bit too dry.
Mm.
The rain date for Heritage Day or scooter races is going to be on Monday, Labor Day. But I think the forecast didn't. I think the forecast is going to hold.
Right.
And I think this really connects us to what Gloucester is all about. Like I said, really, you really do feel the maritime history in this city. I think more so than other places, more so than in other North Shore cities that have a rich maritime history. Really, between the fishermen, offshoremen, the schooner adventure, which I was fortunate to take a ride on with the descendants of fishermen.
Well, and
It's a great place.
if anyone wants to learn more about that schooner history, the Cape Ann Museum and the Fitzhenry Lane paintings there are a beautiful way to start. They actually have so much history in those paintings, and check out Fitzhenry Lane online or the Cape Ann Museum. There's a lot of history there too about the schooners. So it's going to be such a beautiful weekend. I know.
And I wanted to make one more plug, if I
sure.
could, on Saturday. There's going to be a demonstration on the pier by the USS Constitution's 1812 Marine Guard in full uniform.
Ooh, cool.
On Harbor Loop. So that might be something that you really want to check out. That's new. There's a lot of new stuff this year too.
Yeah. And next year is Gloucester's 400th. So I know that they're really looking to make Schooner Fest be amazing for next year too. So,
I'm going to put in a plug. Does somebody know anybody in the Navy? Can we get the Constitution out here for the 400th for the Schooner Fest? Wouldn't that be great? I know it's not a schooner, but it's a frigate.
Yeah.
But
well, I think there are a couple of boats that aren't schooners. Actually, schooners maybe in this race, but I could be wrong.
Wouldn't that be special? But that would really
that's a great idea. Really a great idea, Ethan. Well, let's move along before we run out of time. The next story is scooters, not schooners.
Yeah, it's like Gloucester is known for its Angel program, originally with trying to help those who are struggling with drugs and addiction. So I just want to put that in context. But they did have a major drug bust, if you want to put it that way, of a guy that was dealing drugs from a scooter, 33-year-old Gloucester resident. And it sort of highlights this problem of drugs in the city. He was held on $50,000 cash bail. It's a very high bail. I don't think I've seen anything that high. A Gloucester police officer got a tip of a drug deal in the city and at Oak Grove Cemetery on Sunday. And on Monday, a caller provided a video to him of that transaction, and they were able to identify the drug dealer involved and the scooter that he was riding. Now, this scooter is very interesting because it's really not a scooter; it's a motorcycle. The engine is too big for it to be considered a scooter. It's got a 150cc engine. So the police were able to use this fact to stop the person on the scooter and search him because he didn't have a license. License was expired, didn't have a motorcycle license. So, maybe that was really good policing, really good detective work. And again, this person has been held in jail. He had a lot of bad stuff on, a lot of drugs, fentanyl, cocaine. He's charged with fentanyl and cocaine trafficking.
Is that the reason for the really high bail?
No, I don't know. So I wasn't in court, and I don't know what the reasons were. But if you want to think about bail in this context, he had a lot of cash on him. He had about $3,700 in cash on him. Police noted that his wallet was so thick he couldn't close. So I think that might be the reason why he was held on such high bail. But I guess he'd been involved with police in the past. He actually had an ankle bracelet on, a GPS monitoring ankle bracelet on.
Yeah.
which he proceeded to cut off in the jail cell, according to the police report. So this is somebody that's known to the police.
Yeah. Right.
But Ed Connolly, and I just wanted to read this to you because I thought this statement really puts it in context. Because we're always writing about these drug crimes, but the Gloucester Police Department is committed to responding to reports provided by community members, and Officer D'Angelo's professional and timely response to this report led to a significant drug seizure. That was from Ed Connolly. We are committed to helping those battling substance use disorder find treatment, but we are also committed to holding those who profit from substance use accountable for the toll that these substances take on our community. So if you want to look at this in a continuum, you know, this guy's dealing drugs, prescription pills, whatever, and it's going to hurt a lot of people. So, you know, if the whole idea of the Angel program is if you needed help and you sought help, you could get it, and it's voluntary. So let's, you know, this is, I know it's now known as Parry, but let's just put this all in context. You know,
Right.
a lot of people are getting hurt by these substances. It's not a good thing.
It is not. Well, let's move on to the next story, which is what I enjoy calling Gate. Gate has not ended. Apparently, the council was addressing the once again the problems with the keyless gate at the train stop.
Yeah, well, you know, Councilor Worthley, Jeff Worthley, had decided, you know, contacted a few fellow councilors. 2 councilors came in on with him, and 3 councilors can hold a meeting, can call a meeting.
Oh.
You know, outside the purview of the council president. And they had enough time to do it, and they did it. Now, this is all kind of the backdrop of this is the gates are coming down on cars. A retired deputy fire chief, his wife and son were in a car when a gate came down on their car. This has been well documented, but over the weekend, there was a video that was shared on Facebook on the Gloucester Things website. Steve Aiello shared it, of a car kind of looked like it was trapped between the gate and the train and had to turn around away from it.
Oh.
So these reports kept coming in. The gates work by train comes to the Gloucester station and they close, and then they open up again to allow traffic to go. And when the train moves forward, it closes again. Well, apparently people are getting caught by this. Either they don't see the train coming or the gate doesn't come. I don't know. It's not a malfunction of the gates. It's the way the gates are programmed. That's my understanding. You got to get that
Okay.
right.
That still sounds like a malfunction if people are getting caught.
No, because a malfunction would be the gates don't go down and the train comes through.
Okay. Okay. All
That
right.
would be a gate malfunction. That would be serious. So the fail safe for these gates is to come down. So the fact that these gates are coming down, they're doing what they're supposed to do. It's just that there's this extra up down. There's also another thing that's happening is the trains pull out of toward Rockport. So imagine the train comes through, the gates come out, and there's something called I'm gonna get this wrong. Am I gonna get this? A tail ring.
Tailoring?
Yeah, tail ring. 2 words. Tail ring.
Okay, tail ring.
The train goes back when you reach the brakes and goes to Rockport, and that triggers the gates to come down.
Yeah.
These are newer gates. These are safety improvements that were put in place. And I think what's happening is drivers are not sort of used to that. I think if they were used to that up and down action and maybe looking for the train, but it's been 2 years since people have been driving through these gates.
Okay.
So I just want to mention that there was some progress that happened earlier this week. Senator Bruce Tarr and Mayor Greg Verga met in his office and outlined a letter from the MBTA, which actually came from John Ray, the deputy director of commuter rail operations. Sent this letter to sort of outlining changes to these gates. What they want to do now is train comes through, the gates stay down. Okay, so the train comes in from Rockport, it's going to stay down and stay until the train passes through the crossing. And this has the potential to create a large delay in traffic.
It's a long time. Yeah.
This is the way the gates used to work.
Yeah.
And I guess they changed. So I think it's a combination of people aren't really used to the trains coming through. There's uncertainty when the gates go up, whether they should move or not. Maybe they get trapped, they can't get through. We don't know the circumstances. I'm not blaming anybody. It's just it's a difficult maneuver.
How long ago was it that the gate just came down until the train was completely done?
See, I don't know, but I think that's some of the discussion that was happening around this gate work. There's improvements to these gates.
So is it,
These are newer gates. And I want to mention one other thing. So that's the other point of contention now. So the council passed an emergency measure asking the MBTA to fund staffers, a flag, a transit police there, and if not, fund details of police and firefighters.
so they're asking, oh, the city will be paying for police and firefighters to be details?
No,
monitoring the gates?
I think council order, I believe, was asking the T to pay for that.
Okay.
Now that's an expensive proposition.
Yeah. So can we just back up and say, so is this the second meeting of the city council on these gates?
Yes.
Okay.
This one was an emergency, like a last minute.
Okay. And who was in attendance?
All the councilors in attendance. Jason Grow was not,
Okay.
except Jason Grow had a prior commitment.
Okay. So, and this was, they voted on this emergency measure to try to ask the T to fund details.
So what it is, they declare an emergency exists, and then they pass. It's basically a resolution. They don't have any power. I can't really tell the MBTA what to do.
Right.
But I think this really shows. Look, if people's cars are getting hit by gates, it's serious. People having trouble getting through the crossing, it's serious. If they have doubts about driving through, it's serious. And we've seen videos of, cars coming really close to a train. If that car had been struck by the train, we'd have a different conversation. So I think they wanted.
And no one has been injured at all.
No one's been injured. I mean, the retired deputy fire chief did describe, it was a minor accident. His wife's car got hit by the gate in a sort of an up down movement, and then she backed up and a car is moving forward. So,
oh yeah,
thank God, it's only been either just cars getting hit by gates or fender benders. No injuries or anything like that.
But that's still expensive at the very least.
It's a car gets hit by a gate and there's hits the roof, it's expensive. But I think let's the problem with the gates staying down for a long period of time there's a problem with that. If the gates are down for too long, people start to skirt them. People just start going around them, or pedestrians start to walk through, and they could lose their life because they might look one way for a train and not see a train coming the other way.
Right.
So I think it's the uncertainty. It's the gates. Trains haven't gone through here for 2 years because of the reconstruction of the Annisquam drawbridge. So
when will what comes next? When will we learn about this resolution and any implications there? Do you have any idea?
Well, Council President Val Gilman is sending off today, Thursday, sending off a letter to the chair of the Department of Public Utilities. They have a division that's oversees the T, and the MBTA Advisory Board, which took the place of the Fiscal Control Board. The T's got a lot on his plate, however. There was a federal report, which I haven't read, a federal report which talked about the T's focus on long-term projects over day-to-day operations. And the T has been having trouble, had been running summer schedules, Sunday schedules for several lines because they can't get enough dispatchers in their control room. And we know the orange line is shut down, a portion of the green line is shut down. And so, the T's a mess.
It is a mess, but this does seem like an issue. And so again, you said there was an incident over the weekend, so the problem is clearly still happening.
Yeah, there was a Facebook video shared on from August 27, showing a white car kind of looked like it had been trapped by the gate and the train. It was right between the gate and the train and had to turn out to get out of the way. I don't know what happened before, but I think it's that up down might be causing confusion. The train comes in, it goes down, then it goes up again, then it goes down.
Well, will you be following up on this story? Because we'd love to hear more.
Yeah, I reached out to the mayor's office to see what he thinks about this. What's his reaction to it? I mean, now there's something very interesting here. I don't know if this is buried in all of this. The MBTA is going to come in and improve the other crossings at Maplewood, at Cleveland, and Cedar and Willow. Did I get that correct? So those crossings are going to have improved gates. Now maybe we think the gates, improved
Yeah,
gates aren't
maybe we
working out.
don't want those improvements. Yeah.
But they're gonna be stopping the trains at Gloucester at the end of September for a period to improve those gates. So if you live in Rockport, I
Oh,
don't know, we Cape Ann
yet
today,
again.
right?
Yeah.
They're gonna stop the trains at Gloucester.
Once again. Yeah.
And so it won't be, so the trains will make it to Gloucester, and I think we might be seeing shuttles, but that's another thing. That was in Mayor Berger's update to the council about
Well,
their efforts. I mean, the mayor's working on this, Senator Bruce Tarr's working on this, and Margaret Ferrante's working on this, the MBTA is working on this. Now the council is saying, hey, this is our input.
all right. Well, keep us posted because it is a big story.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
If somebody gets hit on that gate, it's not good.
I think even when people's cars are getting hit, there's
Oh yeah,
something isn't working.
there's
Right.
just confused. Like there's too many incidents that have cropped up on Facebook to say this is a one-off, and that was Jeff Worthley's point. It wasn't just a one-off. It wasn't just a deputy fire chief. It's like there seemed to be a lot of, and I saw a lot of those posts. People like, this happened to me. This happened to me. That
Hmm.
shouldn't be happening. Gates shouldn't be hitting cars.
Yeah. And this was the exact same conversation we had maybe a month ago. Where,
Exactly.
yeah. So it does seem like it's still happening. Well, let's keep talking about public transportation because there
I
is
love
one.
public transportation,
I love public transportation.
but I drive a car everywhere, so maybe
Yeah,
I'm a
me too. I
hypocrite.
know. I know. We want to love it, but CADA, there have been some changes at CADA.
Yeah, their administrators left. Felicia Webb, she's been there for since about 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And she came in as a planner, deputy administrator, and for the past 3 years has been their administrator. She got bit by the transportation bug in college, driving a student shuttle bus at
Oh,
the
that's
University of
cute.
Virginia.
Oh,
And yeah, and so but she's moving on. She did some good things, and for Kata, she I don't get too in the weeds, but she did the on-demand Kata on-demand service.
that's a
She
big one.
started, yeah, she started a service for dialysis. This is really interesting. There's a shuttle for dialysis patients, the Fresenius Dialysis Center in Beverly. So
Great.
if it's like you seniors who need a trip there
Yeah.
you can do that. They have to pay. It's like $4. It's like $4 round trip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then the shuttle buses that they ran during COVID when the Rockport line shut down.
At the same time, right?
And
So
that was just like at the end of April 2020, the old Anascom drawbridge had a, who knows what it had, but it was not going to be carrying trains anymore. And they
yeah.
spent $100 million right out this window
Right.
to, to reconstruct it. And that was actually a blessing in disguise for CADA. They were able to keep people employed running shuttle buses.
Yeah, that was a serious effort, the shuttle bus business from Rockport to West Gloucester, I think.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they got the contract to do that, and
Mm-hmm.
that kept people employed, and they were able to weather COVID. Felicia was telling me that some regional transit authorities in New Hampshire shut down during COVID.
Wow. Yeah.
And so she'll be heading off to Martha's Vineyard. She's got a job there, helping them, and she's going to try to help them manage their seasonal influx.
Mm-hmm.
It's a transit authority, but twice the size of CADA.
Yeah, I've seen those buses on the Vineyard. They're really impactful on that in that community. I mean,
Oh, you
people
have to
use
be,
them.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
right. They use them regularly.
you're not
Yeah,
gonna, you're limited on bringing a car.
right. Exactly. So, and how about Felicia's replacement?
Well, they've got somebody in there temporarily, so we'll have to just wait and see. They advertised the job this summer. The mayor is the chairperson of CADA, their advisory board. So
So is he in charge of the hiring process?
that I don't know. I don't. I guess the advisory board must have some hiring process, but
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, well, I think we'll keep. I'm sure they'll make an announcement.
Right, right. Well, I think CADA is a wonderful event. Wonderful. What do we want to say? Public
Hey, it's a great
transportation.
organization.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like we all have to think about.
But I just
using them
wave
more.
to the drivers. I don't use it. And I keep thinking I've got to learn how to really use that bus because we should all be doing that. So
I was telling people, and I told Felicia before she left that if they can't get a parking, out of towners can't get a parking at Good Harbor. They can buy one at Stage Fort that doesn't usually sell out. And Cater runs a beach shuttle
Right,
to Good Harbor and around the loop.
right. It's a great idea. Great suggestion.
So
All right. So what else are you working on, Ethan?
Schooner Festival, Schooner Festival, Schooner
Yeah.
Festival.
All schooners. This
And don't
weekend.
forget, a plug for democracy. There's an election on Tuesday.
I'm a poll worker, so I'm doing my part. For
And yeah,
democracy.
so we have our state rep race. Longtime state rep, and Margaret Ferrante is being challenged by the chairman of the Rockport Democratic Town Committee, Nathaniel Mulcahy. So we'll see how that turns out.
All right. Well, we will talk to you next week. Thank you so much, Ethan, as always. And I hope I'll catch up with you about where we're going to watch those schooners. Okay.
And don't forget to vote.
All right. Take care.
All right, take care.
Interested in a sponsorship? Email sponsor@1623studios.org to learn more.